Do you hear that? It's the sound of a tornado siren. I'm worried, because you know what that means? It means that there's these big thrusting winds coming at us, all around us. And the scariest part about the tornado is the vortex. Now the vortex is the core of the tornado. So this would be the core of a tornado. If you're looking at it at a topside space view, if you look down at a tornado, the vortex would be right in here. And that's where the most scary part of the tornado is. So when you hear these sirens playing loud, annoying sounds, what you want to do is run to the nearest, most protected area with no windows, no breakable things, solid protection. So if you're in a house, go down to your basement. If you're driving along the highway and you see these funnel clouds coming at you, pull over, get to the ditch of the road, and duck and cover. And now we are going to show you how to duck and cover. So what you want to do is get down the corner, put your head over your head, and take cover so that no falling objects can fall down on you when you hear the tornado sign. And when you want to stay in this position for as long as the sirens go off and as soon as there's no danger present. But what makes a tornado so terrifying? How does this force of nature create such a massive destruction? Well, it all has to do with water vapor. But what is water vapor, you ask? Well, water vapor is a gas form of water. You can't really see water vapor except when it's raining, and amounts of water vapor in the air cool down and become dense so you can see the solid. Once the gas falls to the ground, it's what we normally call it as rain. So in a sense, if there's a tornado during the sunny, dry day, you must be in Kansas, Dorothy. Many tornadoes are created from a special type of thunderstorm called a supercell. A supercell is a large rotating thunderstorm about 6 to 10 miles in diameter that lasts several hours. During these thunderstorms, multiple tornadoes can be formed. The actual tornado itself is formed from the cool air that quickly rises to the top of the storm clouds and forces the warmer air down to the earth. These forces cause a circular pattern in the winds that form when pressure becomes great enough, and then a funnel forms. And that funnel is something we like to call a vortex. The vortex is the fastest moving part of a tornado, with speeds ranging from 75 miles per hour to 300 miles per hour. So it's definitely something you don't want to be standing outside when one of them comes around just for a good view. So all you photographers out there, stay away. I don't care how fun Twister looked as a movie, stay away. And today, for a special treat, we are going to show you how to make your very own tornado. Of course, it's not as dangerous as you might think, because it won't cause nearly as much damage as a real one. So what you will need is two 2-liter bottles, some tape, and some water. So, once we get set, we'll prepare our tornado. Now, sometimes you might have some difficulties filling up your water bottle, so it's always important to have a backup plan just in case. So what we're going to do is fill the water about 3/4 the way full, and when we get up there, we'll proceed. Sometimes, you know, water pressure is another issue you have to deal with. But the important thing is to get a good amount of water so that you can form a really good tornado. And that's all that really matters.
I think that's a good amount.
So that should be a good amount for a tornado. And let's go get this project started.
So JC, why are you putting tape on the bottle?
Well, that's a good question, Andrea. The tape is put over the water, so obviously it doesn't leak out. But also we're going to create a hole in the bottom of the tape so that there's a little area for the funnel to actually form. Because, as most people know, that the area only tips down at one part of a certain area of the tornado. The end is actually a very small area, and the actual damage happens from the gusting winds that come from above. It acts as a vacuum process, and therefore sucks up stuff into the tornado. So let's see here, and we have our hole.
We have our hole.
Alright, next comes the difficult part. Connecting the 2-liter bottles, and there's stuff in here. Alright. Yummy. So, next thing we're going to do is connect the 2 water bottles. If I could have a hand, that would be amazing. Can you just hold the top, please? Thank you.
There we go.
We want to make sure that they're right on top of each other so that we don't have a mess. And so that our parents don't get angry at us for making a very, very watery situation. Otherwise, you can have an after effect of a tornado, a flood. And nobody wants that in the house. So we continue taping and hoping that this tape actually holds. Sometimes you might want to try different tapes. They might
Duct
hold better,
tape.
such as duct tape.
Black electrical tape.
That is exactly what I was going to say. I just can't think of the words. Anything but masking tape. So, we're going to pause now and show you the after effects. And now that we're almost finished taping, you can see that with this particular type of tape that I'm using quite a bit in bulk. And that's because, unfortunately, some tapes are less waterproof than others. So I'd recommend duct tape or black electrical tape, any tape that's water resistant. As we learn further examples that sometimes you just don't have the right tape. So now continuing on, we flip her over. As you can see, it's running down. And so start the funnel up by shaking her up. As you can kind of see in the middle, the funnel is already forming. And as you speed it up, it represents a higher class. You can see the funnel forming in the middle. Now the cortex would run about 75 to 300 miles per hour, as we said before. It just gives you an idea of how a smaller centrifugal force has a more powerful impact than the outer force. So if something gets stuck in the middle of a tornado, you better watch out, because that baby's gonna fly. So anyways, now that's our tornado. As you can see, it slowly dwindles away. And that's how tornadoes go. They happen in an instant moment, and they can last several minutes, or even last up to an hour, depending how far they travel. They can travel 60 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour in a given time frame. And eventually they will just die down once the level of water vapor runs out. Now, as we've learned, we've made a tornado now, very destructive force of nature. And when you hear those sirens that we heard before, running, take cover, either in the ditch, or in the road, or in the basement of your house. No windows. Cover your head with your hands. Get down. Protect yourself. So you don't want anything bad to happen to you, and neither do I. Thank you, and be safe.